Hi guys, hope everybody is doing well today. Today's got a really interesting one. I was on the Tool Addict Facebook group, and on there now there's almost 6.5, even a little bit more, thousand people on there. So there's some amazing, talented makers, some wonderful collections, and some real enthusiasts. So it's a great place to meet people. And on that group, I met a chap called Seth. Now, Seth is a craftsman and also a collector of as well of drills and other stuff. So he posted a lot of his collections on the group, and we got chatting about how magnificent his collections was. And he tells me he makes tools as well, which I think is amazing. So I showed him a picture of a miniature brass saw which I saw on somebody else's page, and he said, Ben, I could make you one of those, no problem. I said, really? And literally I went to bed, and the next day he sent me a picture. He said, I made this. And he's actually hardened the teeth, he's filed it, and he's made it out of brass. And I just couldn't believe it. I said, I can't believe you've made that in a day. You are so talented. And he's even aged it a little bit so it all looks like it's done work. Now he's actually hardened the teeth and it actually cuts. And I think that was amazing. So I said, Seth, you are a genius. I said, if you had the time, I would love if you'd make a couple more. He said, Ben, I can do it at the minute. I've got a little bit of free time, so I can do it. So he made me, obviously, a wonderful saw. He made me a brass back saw, absolutely exquisite brass, all hand filed. I'll insert some pictures at the end of his filing. Absolutely amazing. And I just couldn't believe it. Absolutely stunning. He made this, and not only that, he actually made a two-man saw. He's used a lathe and he's turned little handles, and they move, adjust like the original, and just absolutely stunning. And he's even cut out the holes for to get rid of the material so it doesn't bind. Absolutely amazing. So I thought, oh my god, how talented is Seth? So Seth has just set up an Instagram page called Seth's Creations, Seth's Miniature Creations, and he's just started. So if you want something made, Seth may well be able to make it for you. Something for your dad, some miniature tool or miniature something. I mean, he could make it smaller or bigger. I just said, make whatever you want, Seth. I thought they were all brilliant. And those he made in literally 2 days. I couldn't believe it. He's got a miniature watchmaker's lathe, and he's just a craftsman's unbelievable. So I said to him, there's these wonderful items here, which I really like. And these are like leg calipers. Now they're usually quite big, but I would like some smaller versions in steel and brass. He said, Ben, I could make those easily, not a problem. And sure as his word, these are the two I've got, and I paid £50 for this one, and I paid a little bit less, I think, for this one from the US. But they're really lovely, and I really like them. Don't ask me why, because I do, but I just do. And Seth said, sure, I could make you some of those. Would you like them bigger or smaller? I said, I'd quite like them smaller. So he made me miniature leg calipers out of brass. They're all slightly different. They're all different shapes. So these are two miniature legs. And then he made two more out of brass. He made one with a caliper at the top, so you can obviously do the caliper at the top. And he made a really cool big one. And these are very similar to designs that exist. They're just quite rare and difficult to find. So he made me those four. I'm actually going to have to zoom out, I think, because of the size. He made that many items. Absolutely fantastic. And then I said he had some old steel blades, off a off a tenon saw. So he cut the steel, which is really hard, really strong steel. He had to anneal it several times to cut it on his banjo. You can see the pitting on the rust from it, and he's made me some wonderful steel ones. Absolutely fantastic. He's turned the rivets, brass rivets, on his miniature lathe, and he's made these. Now, I just can't get over how fantastic Seth's work is, considering he made all these items in about 4 days, 4 or 5 days, and he was at work. So Seth, you are a very skilled man indeed. So Seth Creations, there'll be a link below to his Instagram. Go check him out. Absolutely fantastic. Now, I was chatting to Seth. He said he does collect some things, and he goes around, markets, etc. And I was telling him I really like little boxwood rules and rope gauges and stuff. And he said, "Oh, I've got a bunch of those." So he had a route through his collection. This is a Stanley number 36. And this is a Stanley number 36, but it's a left and a right. I thought they were absolutely fantastic. And then he had two other rope gauges, slightly different, Stanley 136s. One a little bit cleaner, the other one a little bit older, which was fantastic in his collection. And there was a Stanley boxwood number 36 with the rope gauge, and an amazing Stanley number 68. Now, these are quite common ones in the US. He's picked them up for $1 here and $1 there, but you don't see them in England, so that was really good. He also sent me these tapes. So these American tapes, Steelcraft, and I can't read that one, Montreal, Canada. So I don't think I've got anything from Canada. And then two more, an Atlantic white tape, and an Automatic Rules snapback. Oh, it's a Stanley 1260, made in the USA. So he sent me 4 tapes, and then I asked him how much he wanted for those. He said $100. So I think that's a fantastic price. So there's basically $10 an item across the board. So he sold me those for $100, and then he made those for me, and then he sent me a free gift. Now, some of you may know that I like HD Smith tools. If you can see there, HD Smith company, and I have this rubberized screwdriver, but obviously the rubber has degraded because I think the HD Smith company went bust in the early 30s. So this makes this 90 years old plus, and the rubber has completely gone. And he had one with some of the rubber still intact. So this is the same screwdriver. So this is what it looks like underneath, and this is what it looked like with the rubber. So it had the HD Smith company stamped in the rubber handle, and on the other side you can see there the HD Smith. It's not in necessarily the very best condition, but it's amazing that the rubber is still actually on the item, rubbered covered, which is unusual for, you know, a 1930s tool to have rubber on it. So thank you so much for that, Seth. I think that's fantastic. A 1920s rubber screwdriver. Has anyone ever seen one of those before? So I just want to say a massive thank you to Seth. It was an absolute joy opening this parcel. I highly recommend you go check him out. If it's something you would like, if you would like a miniature tool, something what's special to you, Seth may well have the time and make you one. And I can't thank him enough, really. I just think these are beautiful. And he weren't a lot of money neither. He was very reasonable. He's a very skilled guy. He's a very efficient guy, and I think that's why he's reasonable, because you know, I would have to charge £1,000 for each item, because it'd take me forever to do it. So massive thank you to Seth. Hopefully you enjoyed this. Leave a comment below. Tell Seth he's a clever guy. Thank you for the HD Smith screwdriver, Seth. Alright, take care. I will insert a couple of pictures of Seth's work at the end to take a look. Alright, take care. Bye.